Welcome back to Ina Bear Farm. I'm going to do a video today talking about how we have managed the grass in the past and some new tricks that we're going to be trying out here. So what we're looking at right here is a nicely established ground cover of perennial peanut. And it's our goal to really spread this as the dominant ground cover in most of our food forest. And oh, there's Polo. Say hi, Polo. Are you tired? You just want to play ball. So what we have been doing, here we can see the clumps of guinea grass that are starting to grow back as we cut them. And so we cut this stuff down and, it gets really tall if you've seen in our previous videos, 8-9 feet tall even, and very thick and very hard to cut down. It does, however, make really good mulch. And so we've got it laying around a lot of our fruit trees as a good mulch, keep the weeds down, keep the moisture in. But then when we want to manage that, it's just continuous mowing, it's exhausting, it requires machinery of different types, gas, and so the goal is to slowly transform that into this, which really manages itself. This stuff fixes nitrogen, it stays pretty low cover. Right in here is about as thick as it gets. You can still easily walk through it. You can mow it if you need to, and it'll just release some nitrogen and create some biomass down there. It's really quite good looking with the little yellow flowers. It does a really good job of suppressing weeds, holds in moisture. It's just a really nice ground cover. And so what we want to be able to do is basically turn this into this, but do it without all the backbreaking, constant use of machines. So I'll show you a section over here where we're getting ready to employ a new strategy. So here you can see kind of a pretty typical patch of grass. This was cut less than a month ago. It's already 2 feet and even higher in some areas. And it's a monster to maintain. So what we're going to do, I'll swing around this way, be able to kind of see the entirety of this section. We've got a section, so there's a mango planted here. There's a ring of old tree stumps around the mangoes. We're going to start here, go all the way down to the base of these papayas in the background here. And that's a distance of about maybe 30 feet. We're going to mow this down really short, pile the grass up, and we're going to tarp it. We're going to leave that tarp on, plastic tarp, for probably a minimum of 2 months. And I'll also show you another thing in here that the tarping will help with. There is a ton of this stuff, which is often called hono grass or wiki grass here. And it's just a weed. It's pretty benign, but it's hard to get rid of. So we're hoping that the tarping will also help with that. And, I was out walking the food forest with a friend recently and talking about the difficulty of maintaining all this grass. And he just mentioned, why don't you tarp it? And it'll be a lot easier to dig all this out because it'll be rotted down. The roots will really have kind of let go a lot of their vigor, because that's the main stress at this point is getting these root balls out. It's just exhausting to clear a section this size. But if you get them nice and rotten, which I have done more on accident, at certain points I'll cover it with its own debris, and then it'll rot the roots down, and I have noticed how easy it is to get that out. And so I thought, yeah, why don't I do that? I had sort of decided back when I first started the food forest that I wouldn't use tarps because I didn't really want to use plastic and that sort of thing. But now I'm kind of more in a phase of realizing, like, okay, well, if I do this once, I can really reduce the use of machinery, fossil fuels, the amount of time I have to spend on this, and then I can move on to doing other good things here. So it sort of ends up paying for itself in a way with what are the negatives of the plastic. So plastic's not great. I'm not really excited about having to use it, but I am excited about the prospect of making this easy. So we're going to try this out on a few sections here. We're going to do this section, another one just like this, and then we're going to do a couple of crop rows, and we'll shoot you an update when we peel the tarp off. For now, I'll just kind of show you the process of cutting all this back, rolling out the tarp, and then we'll do an update in a few months, check in and see how it's going. Okay, so now we got this all cleared, cut very short, and sort of evenly spread so that the sheeting will lay more or less flat on there. So we're going to go ahead and grab that, start rolling it out. All right, so we got that done pretty quick, 5 minutes. I think it is a two-person job just to try to get it stretched out and in place evenly and get everything on top of it before it starts to move or catch the wind. This is a polyethylene sheeting. It is not a silage tarp. I would prefer silage tarp just because they're meant to last longer, more UV resistant, they don't break down as fast. But here on the Big Island, getting a silage tarp, couldn't find anybody on the island that had them. So I looked at ordering them, and I found one that was pretty small. It was $150 just for the tarp, and then $250 to ship it here. So that's life in Hawaii. We gotta, make do with what we have a lot of the time. So I got this polyethylene sheeting, and this is one of the purposes it's intended for. This stuff is often used for crops, like it's really commonly used for strawberries, other root, like sprawling crops, like anything, pumpkins, melons, that sort of thing, where you have these vines that go everywhere and you don't want to be like losing them in the weeds. Of course, here we're using it for weed suppression and to kill the bases of the guinea grass. So we're going to leave this down, like I said, for a minimum of 2 months, maybe 3. We'll kind of peel it back a little at a time, see how things look. And we're also hoping to kill off some weed seeds under there, some just other like rhizomatic or rhizomous growing weeds that we have here. It's really important for this to be black because that's going to help it to heat up quite a bit, and it's going to kind of cook things under there a little bit like a compost pile, cook down any weed seeds, really just fry the weeds similar to how they would be in a nice hot compost. And the goal here, like we said at the beginning of the video, is to spread the perennial peanut. And so what we'll probably do is peel it back starting on the fence side a little bit at a time and like dig out, from top to bottom, and put in the perennial peanut and let it start going. And then once it's kind of rooted after 2 or 3 weeks, we'll like peel back some more and just keep cutting away. Maybe we'll do it on both ends and kind of meet in the middle sort of thing. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. But for now, we got this done. And hopefully these logs are enough to hold it down in the wind. This spot's not too bad for the wind, but I am going to put quite a bit more, some logs and some rocks on the other spots that we have that are a little bit windier. But we'll check back in a few months, give you an update on this, see how it goes, and see how we're able to transform this spot without doing all the backbreaking labor that we've been doing. So I appreciate you joining us. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Let me know if you have any comments or you have any other experience with this. Any questions? We're always here to chat. Until then, we'll see you next time at Ina Bear Farm. Aloha.